Welcome to Canal Park. Good morning, Mason Gang, and welcome to another episode of the Mason Gang vlog. If you guys don't know where we are, that means you haven't watched the last Mason Gang vlog episode. We are up in Grand Marais, and you can watch that below. I have the link below, so you can check that out. Today, we are actually packing up, and we are heading to Tetagooch Falls, which is one of the larger falls in Minnesota, and we're going to kind of see what that looks like in the early winter. We're going to see if it's frozen over at all, if it's pretty, if it's not pretty, if there's water running through it, who knows. And then we're going to be heading out to Duluth, Minnesota, and we're going to explore the lakeshore there down by Canal Park, all of those other beautiful places in Duluth. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. She's making us some camp egg sandwiches. Legitimately my favorite breakfast ever. So good. So we are going to eat, we are going to pack up, and we are going to head over to Tetagooch Falls. So we've traveled about 60 miles down the North Shore towards Duluth, and we are stopping in here at Tetagooch. Oh, sorry. There was a squirrel. We were trying not to scare it. Anywho, we're down by Tetagooch National Park, and actually I think it's a state park. Definitely a state park. And I think this is one of the bigger falls in Minnesota. So we're going to go to Two-Step Falls and then go to the High Falls and check out the beauty. Alright, we made it. Tetagooch Falls. Look at this place. It's really, really cool. We actually have come up here multiple times in the winter, in the summer, and believe it or not, we have actually swam into the middle of those falls. So in the summertime, you could jump in the water here, swim across into the current, and you can find a little gap within the falls that you can breathe and just hang out. I brought Ashley down there once. Ashley, I can't remember. Did I get you in there or did you drown?
Well, you drowned me, but I got in.
Okay, cool. But you know, rumor has it with this falls, someone actually went down the river in a barrel, like a wine barrel. Is that what you would call it? I think. And they went over the falls to see if they would survive. And they did. Wow. What a story. Can you imagine going over the falls in a barrel? That'd be so scary. Also, daredevils that we are, we've actually climbed this cliff before up to the top, which was fun. Did you do that with us? Or was it just Michael and I? Which is pretty fun. Mom really loved that. But yeah. This falls is pretty cool, and we will hop right up to the top. Made it to the top. Here's Tetagooch Falls from the high point. Wow. Still, can you imagine taking a barrel down that falls? I cannot. Really impressive up here. As I mentioned before, I climbed this cliff once. Man, did I get some buttock sweat because I was really nervous. Good memories. Good memories. But this is Tetagooch for you. So we made it back. It was a 1.5 mile hike, 2 high falls, and then a 1.5 miles back. It really wasn't all that bad at all. It was really relaxing, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was super nice. We are going to head another 60 miles south down to Duluth, and we'll take you along our little walk there in Canal Park. Welcome to Canal Park. This is in Duluth, Minnesota. This is a drawbridge, which is super cool. There's weights on one side of the bridge that go up and down, and it lifts the entire road up. So big ships out there can come in to port and drop off all of their grain or any of the other stuff that they drop off here in Duluth. That's how Duluth was really started, is it was a location for a port. And it's still used today as one of the main ports up here in the Midwest. And the port actually became so big up here that this entire city was built, which is pretty crazy to think about. Over all these years, just this canal essentially provided the business to build all of that.
No one cares.
And something else that's pretty cool that Ashley won't find cool because clearly she doesn't care about awesome stuff. This whole edge along the lake, you can see all that rock. This was a boardwalk that went all the way down, but there were some crazy storms that hit, and the waves actually broke over the walls into those hotels. So the wall used to look like that, where those people are, and now they built it up twice as high, and they put concrete on the backside to protect all of these hotels because the waves have just been destroying the lakeshore of Duluth. Isn't that fascinating, Ashley?
Amazing.
Believe it or not, those waves we were talking about, they get so high that they'll actually go over the top of the lighthouse. Both lighthouses. It's crazy. And that's kind of why you have these concrete piers to protect all of this area from big waves. But it's just got to be nuts to actually see it in person. It's the last thing I'll say about these piers. For all you guys that don't know how the piers and canals work, that big boat way out there, that's probably 500 to 600 feet long, will come right through here, and that bridge will go up for him, and he will go and unload his entire tank or ballast or anything else that he has in there. And that's all I have to say about the piers, because Ashley wants to be done with the piers, right, Ashley? No, of course not. And I guess you might as well get one full look of Duluth while you're at it as well. There you go. There's your moment of silence. We're gonna walk along the lake a little bit, see if we find anything cool. Lift bridge is gonna go to its full height now of 135 feet to let that big old ship out there into port. Pretty cool. You can see the big weights on the side dropping down as the entire bridge goes up. Oh, I didn't realize it went to go up into the section.
They said it was the highest that it'll go.
That's pretty high.
Good afternoon, visitors. Right now we have the Federal Katsura coming through the Duluth Ship Canal. The Federal Katsura was built in 2005 by the Shin Kurushima Dockyard Company of Kurushima, Japan. She measures 624 feet in length, 77 feet in width, and 49 feet in depth. She is powered by a 9,500 horsepower, 6-cylinder Kobe diesel engine, which gives her a top speed of 14 knots, or about 60 miles per hour.
That's so cool.
The signal exchange you just heard is known as the Captain's Salute. It is the most standard of the ship signal exchanges, one long and two short blasts. The Federal Katsura is also equipped with a 860 horsepower bow thruster to aid her maneuverability in port. The Federal Katsura has 6 hydraulic foldable hatches on her deck, which open into 6 cargo holds located below deck. She has a maximum carrying capacity of 19,200 tons. She is owned and operated by the FedNav Corporation of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and is registered in the Marshall Islands. The registered country isn't necessarily where the ship or crew are from, but whose laws the ship or crew follow. If you see the crew on board, make sure you give them a big wave and welcome them to Duluth.
Yes.
Today, the Katsura is here to Canola at Senex Harvesting Dock. The Federal Katsura is a member of the world's largest Canadian fleet of ocean-going vessels. Founded in 1944 and owning around 65 ocean-going vessels, FedNav vessels are also frequent visitors to Twin Ports and have been in the years.
We didn't actually think we'd show you something so cool when we were here in Duluth. And we're actually going to just walk along this boardwalk for a little bit, so I don't mean to drag you along.
It's cold.
And then we're going to make the 2-hour drive home. So this might have been a little bit of a shorter vlog, but we thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for joining us in Grand Marais last vlog, and thanks for checking out Duluth with us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.